Welcome back to Dead Good Book Reviews. I'm Judith and you are watching my March TBR. February is almost gone from us. I can't remember when this video is going up. Shall soon be, is already, it's gone. And I have to plan my reading for March. I've got a lot of stuff I want to get through. It's all piled up behind me. So I'm going to tell you a bit about the things that I know a bit about and not that much about the things that I don't know that much about. And we're going to work through it and hope for the best. What I will say is that as ever, because of my overbooked project, there's a fair amount of rereading on this list. I don't actually know if I need to slow down my overbooked reading just a little bit because I have been scheduling it, and actually so the third season, which is this shelf here, won't actually be done done being posted until mid-November. So at the moment I'm reading for books that will go up in the autumn, and it just feels just a little bit silly to be filling all of my time with rereads when there's other things to be doing in the meantime. I don't know, I haven't quite worked out yet, and I think at the end of March I'm going to do a bit of a reevaluation of that project and maybe keep it a bit more up to date, but who knows, I might just stick with it. Anyway, lots to reread, lots to read, let me tell you all about it. Also, I'm fully dressed like a hobbit today and this hair could fall down at any moment, and when it does we're just going to deal with it, okay? So the first three books that I want to read should be fairly expected. I'm going to get them out of the way. I want to read 3 Animorphs books in March. Animorphs 18, Animorphs 19 and Animorphs 20, and that is because I am committing to Animorphs April. I'm doing it. It should be fine. If I can get all of those read and scripted and filmed and edited and uploaded and subtitled, it'll all be grand. Animorphs isn't taking too much time at the moment, which is good. I think I've just got better at filming them, hopefully. Fingers crossed. So that will happen. And then onto the author who is featuring most heavily in this month's TBR, because I am rereading them all for Overbooked. I'm reading every single Frances Hardinge book I own. I think it's Frances Hardinge. I have a friend who says Frances Hardinger. I think I'm gonna stick with that. But I have all of them. So I have Fly By Night, which is probably the one I've read most recently. I think I read this for my Book a Day in June challenge. I'm just gonna quickly chat about all of these. This one is the one that features a goose and a lot about words. The Lie Tree. This is the first Frances Hardinge book I ever read, and this is the spooky one that involves kind of like gothicness and morals, I guess. That will do for that one. Deep Light. This is the ARC cover. The actual cover looks different to this. This is the one that features gods jumping out of the sea and dredging and some goodness. I think that's probably the one I'm most looking forward to rereading, I think. Face Like Glass. This I picked up in a charity shop haul quite a long time ago. And this one, most of the things I remember about this one is it features cheese. And finally, the only hardback Frances Hardinge book I own, Skinful of Shadows, Ghosts, Girl Called Makepeace, Ghost of a Bear Within Her. Very exciting. Yeah, I really like her writing. As you can tell, I own 5 of her books. I think I own another one on Kindle, so obviously it's going to be a good time. I have no idea how I'm going to spread them out, whether it would be more fun to read them all in one go or spread them out over the month. I honestly don't know. Those are all of my overbooked reads, and then I have some NetGalley reads that I want to get to. I have All the Murmuring Bones by A.G. Slatter. This is something about mermaids, let me check my notes. A spellbinding tale of dark family secrets, magic and witches and creatures of myth and the sea, of strong women and the men who seek to control them. I have a feeling that I will enjoy this one. I think it sounds fun, and I haven't read a mermaidy book in quite some time. My one qualm is mermaid books somehow, probably because of original source material, but they always end up being about men controlling them, and sometimes that's just a bit of a bummer and not as fun. So we'll see how that one goes. Then I have Sorrowland by Rivers Solomon. I have read one of Fair books before. I read The Deep this month, actually. No, end of January, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm interested to see how this one goes. This is more of a, I think this is more of a dystopian or a strange body metamorphosis. I think this one is going to be one of those books that is absolutely stunningly beautiful, but also very harrowing and quite weird. That's my suspicion, but something kind of post-apocalyptic about it. Not post-apocalyptic, what's the word I'm looking for? A bit dystopian, I think, but I am not sure. Very much looking forward to picking that one up. I think that's going to be really interesting. A NetGalley book that's been on my shelf for a while, The Shadow in Glass by J.J.A. Harwood, that's what it is. This is a Cinderella retelling. Not read a Cinderella retelling since I think Cinderella is Dead, which isn't really a retelling, more an inspirational. And I must pick up the sequel to that when it comes out. I don't mind a retelling. I'm willing to be surprised by a retelling doing something different. Based on the description, this is a Victorian backdrop for this retelling, which I think could be quite good. If the details are right, it could be good fun. Probably the book that's been on my TBR the longest in terms of review copies, Victories Greater Than Death by Charlie Jane Anders. I have read the one about birds, All the Birds in the Sky. something like that. I'll put that cover up as well. And I have read The City in the Middle of the Night, which I absolutely loved but was very weird. And I'm really interested to see how this author writes YA, because it could be great, it could just be very weird, I don't know. This book features a main character who's guarding like a space distress signal or something like that. Let me check. Yeah, the keeper of an interplanetary rescue beacon, and one day soon it's going to activate and her dreams of saving all the worlds and adventuring among the stars will finally be possible. What I really remember about The City We Became is no, not The City We Became, City in the Middle of the Night, that's the one, is it was super sad, so I'm embracing my emotions for that one. Those are my review copies that I have to read. I don't tend to look into them in a huge amount of detail before I read them because I quite like to be surprised. So more info on those. If you want to hear more about them, subscribe. I will vlog about them, I promise. And then I have 4 books from my own TBR that I'm planning to get to. Basically, I'm scheduling this again around Overbooked because some of these will technically fit around here. So I have Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. This I'm really excited to read. I think this is going to be beautiful and a bit of a palette cleanser, especially since I'm reading so much of one thing. I think reading something really different will help. This is Britain as you've never read it. This is Britain as it has never been told. So this has a lot of different perspectives, a lot of different characters, and you follow their journey through. I'm really interested to read this. I appreciate many people have already read it because it did win the Booker Prize, but I'm excited to get to it. Then I have Inkheart, which again, I think everyone has already read. This was just a book that I never read as a child, at least I don't remember reading it, and I believe that somebody bought me this off my wish list, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. I think it's going to be really good. There's something about nostalgic YA and nostalgic middle grade. I really like it. I think because it captures what I was reading at that age, so I'm excited to get to that one. Then I have American Hippo by Sarah Gailey. I'm very excited to read this. This is her 2 novellas, River of Teeth and Taste of Marrow, bound up together, which I always enjoy because you get a bit more out of it. And we have an alternate America in which hippos rule the colossal swamp that was once the Mississippi River. I'm excited. I have read Upright Women Wanted, absolutely loved it, so I know Sarah Gailey can write alternate America really well, and I'm looking forward to reading more of their writing. The book for Space Sirens Book Club for March is The Gilded Ones, and I'm very much looking forward to reading this. I picked this copy up from Portal Books. It has lovely green sprayed edges. Looking forward to it. Are we girls or are we demons? Are we going to die or are we going to survive? A bold and immersive fantasy where a young heroine fights to save a world that would dare tame her and discovers she is her own fiercest weapon. I think this is going to be fun. I think this is going to be inspiring and good, and just some good YA fantasy, which I'm always here for. Actually, that's not true. I'm not always here for YA fantasy, but I like reading YA fantasy with other people, and I like discovering new YA fantasy. So that's where I'm at with that. The last book on my list, book number 17, is going to be my audiobook pick for the month, and that is Fool's Quest, which is the second book in the Fitz and the Fool series by Robin Hobb. I'm still working my way through them. I'm getting towards the end. I'm hoping by the time this video goes up, I will have finished Fool's Assassin and be hyped about it. I've started listening to it while I go for runs, which is quite a good way of getting through an audiobook, just having that on while you're chugging away. So that's good. I'm very much enjoying that series. As ever, I kind of want to hold off on thoughts on it till I'm done with it, because that's just how I like to read Robin Hobb. But there we go. I think that's everything. I do tend to want to pick 19 books, but just recently I've not been wanting to push myself too much, partly because I like to leave space for other things to come in and not get stressed about adding too much to my TBR, and also because February was such a dire month for reading for me that I don't want to go into March and immediately fail. Like, I want to set myself up for success. I think it's going to be okay. Fingers crossed. I think of all of them, I am most excited for... What am I most excited for? Maybe The River Solomon, maybe Sorrowland, maybe American Hippo. I think those are the 2 that I'm most keen for that aren't rereads. And then I'm most keen to reread Deep Light because I've been wanting to reread that since the moment I read it first. So that will be good, hopefully. I think I'm most trepidatious about trying to read 3 Animorphs books in 1 month because I don't want to burn myself out on reading them. I think it's going to be okay. I think that we're just about to hit the part where they start getting ghost written, and I think that's going to be weird and amazing. So that's what I'm gunning towards, I guess. This has been a whiz through what I'm planning on reading in March. What are you planning on reading? Have you got anything exciting lined up? Are you planning on reading any of these? What am I missing? I know I'm probably missing whatever Angela's pick is for March, I think. I can't remember if I've already read that one. We'll confirm. Are there any new releases in March that you're very excited about? I haven't actually looked at that list yet to see if there's anything that I've pre-ordered that's going to come in. Not organised at all, and with a chair that's going to collapse under me. Oh no. Comment below with everything that you're planning on reading. I'm very interested to know. And also, if you ever want to do a buddy read, let me know. I'm available. That is all from me, I think. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. As I say, I will be vlogging this whole month, so if you want to hear more about my thoughts on any of these books, that's the best way to do it. That's all from me, and I will see you in the next one. There's gonna be some bloopers now. Scrolly, scrolly. Ba-da-da-da-bow.